Hello and
Thank
welcome
you.
everyone. I believe that everybody must be tired after a long day of presentations, and for all of us who have been following this exciting event, thank you especially to the USR network for preparing this event and for organizing everything for us to be having such a wonderful learning experience. Now, as the day comes to an end, the presentations that we will have on the students session, we are at the parallel session 1A, track 2, which is about collaborative research to address global changes. So here we're going to have the presentation from students in universities in the university in Sao Paulo in Brazil, who are going to share with us the experiences that they have had in order to engage and how the research has been brought in order to address these challenges things and how the universities connect to the local communities from the research point of view. So without going too much deeper into that, I will ask the presenters to introduce themselves quickly so that they have more time for the presentations. And our first presentation will be, the name of the presentation is Development of the Agricultural Multifunctionality Assessment Index, a collaboration between human and exact sciences. And the main presenter will be Gabriela Maria Leme Trivellato from the University of Sao Paulo in Brazil. So Gabriela, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon for you. I am agronomic engineering, and right now I am a PhD student in University of São Paulo, Brazil. My research area is applied ecology. Well, I will start my presentation. This is a collaborative research between human and exact sciences, so it wouldn't be possible if we wouldn't work together. So in the last session, professors were speaking about the importance of collaborative work in the research field. So this is an experience I am sharing with you. My research, my PhD research, is based on developing a tool to assess the situation of the multifunctionality of agriculture in Brazil in a quantitative way. The importance of my study in my research field is that the most of multifunctionality of agriculture research are based on qualitative analysis. So what I've been working is to develop a tool to assess the multifunctionality of agriculture in a quantitative way to help people who work in this field to have to have the possibility to analyze their studies in a quantitative way. The concept of multifunctionality of agriculture emerged in the 90s in the context of discussion of sustainable development. In this concept, we recognize that agriculture plays roles beyond the productive, highlighting the guarantee of the well-being of human beings through environmental preservation. So it's a concept of the human sciences. The index structure is based on 70 sub-indicators, 20 indicators, and 4 dimensions. These 4 dimensions are the 4 roles of the multifunctionality of agriculture in the Brazilian rural reality, proposed by these main authors that I use, called Maria José Carneiro and Renato Maluf. These 4 dimensions recognized in the Brazilian rural reality are: first, rural families' socioeconomic reproduction that guarantees the families can survive from agriculture. Second, rural families and society food security, including access and the quality of the food. Third, social and cultural relation maintenance in the rural field. And fourth, natural resources and rural landscape preservation. What we've done is use the index to make a data mining collect the data. We carried out the data mining together with the agricultural census of the Brazilian Institute of Geography and Statistics. The database was built, analyzed by machine learning on Weka and Renstat software and by non-parametric and uni and multivariate statistical methods on SAS and R. So now I start to present the exact sciences phase of this work. So the data mining was carried out in the agriculture census of the Brazilian Institute of Geography and Statistics data. And the index is based on 70 sub-indicators, 20 indicators, and 4 dimensions. So with this work, we can analyze the multifunctionality of agriculture in Brazil in a quantitative assessment. This is the work, basically. Again, now there are three phases in this work: data mining, processing the data in the index, and finally we have the data analysis. So we are constructing a exact sciences index math to analyze something that is important to human sciences. The data analysis is based on machine learning and Weka. I can start using the Renstat software, by non-parametric and uni and multivariate statistical methods on SAS and R. I am presenting some of our graphs that were developed using these machine learning skills. We've made an average performance of regions in dimensions. So this is a Kruskal-Wallis comparisons graph made by my professor advisor Gabriel, Adrián, Sarriés, my colleague Gustavo, Nazato, Furlan, and me using R. This is a principal components analysis with biplot. We can analyze the importance of variables. These four, D1, D2, D3, D4, and E and D are the dimensions, 4 dimensions of the index. Considering the performance of the 26 states in Brazil, we have the 26 states in Brazil and the federal district. Canonical variables by region of Brazil, capturing 93% of the information. Also, we've done non-parametric MANOVA to confirm the results of the canonical variables analysis. Confusion matrices using machine learning, neural network, and random forest algorithm. Partial least square graph using the minimal, the method of we call mínimos quadrados parciais, partial least square. So this research primarily aligns with the Sustainable Development Goal 15, Life on Land. It's an effort to strengthen a vision of agriculture that favors the maintenance of ecosystem services and the well-being of living beings. It means that protect, restore, and promote sustainable of the terrestrial ecosystem, sustainable managed forests, combat desertification. So concluding my presentation, a work like this is possible thanks to the collaboration of researchers in the human and exact sciences. So if I decided to develop a study like that, and I wouldn't, if I wasn't prepared to work with a team, we won't have the graphs I presented, the quality of possibility of present all my results in these graphs that I believe they make the research much more interesting. We believe that it's important for the fields of science to work together towards goals of global relevance. Each researcher has a specific skill, so my study field is the multifunctionality of agriculture and ecosystem services indexes. This is what I do. And now Gustavo is a data analyst and also my professor advisor. It's necessary that the sciences come closer to each other, motivating research with a broad view of the subjects studied. My references, this image I used is from an article of Philadelphia Inquirer. The title of the article is "We Learn More When We Work Together Instead of Competing Against Each Other," just like professors were analyzing in the previous session. Thank you. This is my presentation.
Okay, thank you very much, Gabriela. That's super interesting. Thank you very much for sharing with us the hard work that you're doing. Like, I personally think that it's a huge challenge to overcome traditional ways of researching. Like you said in the beginning, it's mostly qualitative approach, and the fact that you dare challenging that and start working with quantitative approach, I think it's a wonderful challenge. And I'm super excited to hear you say and to hear you have your presentation come and share not only the findings from the research in itself, but the way you're doing it. I think that the way you're doing it can really bring a new perspective to how this SDG 15 can be approached and probably shared in other places. So I would like to ask the floor for questions. At the moment, I don't see any questions in the chat box on the right of the screen. So if anybody from the floor would like to make questions, we have some 4 minutes that we can use to ask Gabriela more in detail for her work. And in the meantime, since it seems like the audience is quiet today, or like people are kind of like wondering what to ask or still processing your information, I have a couple of questions that I would like to ask. One of the things that I was wondering is, because your project is new, what was the reception of people around you? Were people happy with the idea, or were they critical with your new idea?
Thank you for your question, Fernando. Actually, I've been working in this project since I was in the undergraduate course, agronomic engineering. It is the same thing of study in my undergraduate thesis. In the beginning, my desire was that people in the research field of multifunctionality of agriculture used this tool, and I 7 years ago I wanted that these people liked my tool and use it. But 7 years in the beginning, there were the ones who believed this wouldn't work and this have no use, and they continue to do qualitative researches. They just ignored my tool. And now what is happening, and that people in other fields, just like hard science, like environmental area and other research areas connected with the sustainable development of territories, they find my tool is useful. This is just thank you for your question, because it's very just what happened when I developed this tool.
Well, that's the topic of this conversation, no? Like, how do we collaborate with other researchers? So I'm happy to hear you have your not only your new framework, but also addressing the challenge of connecting with other researchers. Now, as a follow-up questions, I still see there are no questions from the floor, but as a follow-up, I would like to ask you, first I ask you about researchers, but then I would like to ask you, how is your relation, with this framework and your university? Is the people in the university, not only in your program, but at the university as a whole, considering your framework to evaluate what the university does?
Well, my graduation program is inter-unit. We call interdisciplinary. My graduation program. So the question of collaborative research are very considered. So in my university, the collaborative researches are very common, because in the field of agricultural studies, we have to collaborate, because we don't have, nobody knows how to do all the parts of the research. So we have, somehow we were forced to collaborate, because some people know how to analyze the data, some people knows about genetics, so some people knows how to do about the soil chemistry. So in my college, Luiz de Queiroz College, ESALC, the collaborative researches are very, very common. Even when I was in the undergraduation course, I see these collaborative researches very, very common.
Well, thank you very much. That's super interesting. I definitely encourage you not to lose track of what you're doing and to keep pushing, because I think that this is very important to, like I said, not only create new frameworks, like your idea is definitely a new idea, but it can definitely be useful for other people. So it's a matter of keeping up and making other people understand what you're doing and how you're doing it. So thank you very much. That was super, super insightful. And good luck with the process ahead. Good luck with that. So with that being said, sure. I would like to move on to our next presentation, which is going to be done by Larissa Guerreiro and Sergio Paca. The name of the presentation is Analysis of Avoid CO2 Emissions based on data from life cycle assessment of photovoltaic systems. Oh, okay. So the Secretariat is telling me, the USR Network Secretariat is telling me that the presenters haven't been able to join us thus far. What should we do? People from the Secretariat, can you please advise me to how we move this forward? Okay. Okay. All right. Well, unfortunately, I definitely believe that there are a lot of issues with technology, and we are still like 2 years into the pandemic, and still we are wondering and learning how to use technology. So I definitely would put the issue on access to technology for the next presenters. Unfortunately, we do not have anything else to share with you regarding this presentation. And so, well, with this in mind, I would like to thank especially the USR network for the wonderful work that they have been doing in order to bring the universities around the world together in this endeavor of engaging the universities with important civic engagements. I would like to thank the contributors to the event, and particularly for this presentation. And this being the last presentation of the day, I would like to say thank you very much to everyone for joining us from wherever you're joining, and we are very much looking forward to seeing you here tomorrow. Well, with this being said, thank you very much, and yeah, have a good evening, good afternoon, good day ahead, as wherever you are located. Thank you very much. And again, thanks to the University Social Responsibility Network staff working on the backstage. There's a lot of work going on the backstage that needs to be acknowledged and thanked for. Thank you very much.